Yo, what is happening, guys? I'm back with Shay.
Yeah.
So as you can tell by the title and the thumbnail, we've been doing the Undisputed podcast for probably about a year and a half now, roughly. And it's just come to the time, it's come to the point where we're not doing the Undisputed podcast anymore on this channel. Because we've created our own one! Yeah! Just quickly, we've been wanting to do that for ages, but the reason we didn't do it is because we didn't want to have to risk bringing the audience over, basically, in case they didn't come over. But now we've kind of just got to a point, we're 74 episodes deep, and we're kind of just like, if we don't do it now, we're going to have to do it at some point.
Yeah. And
it's like, it's just easier to do it now. And then, if people are fans of the podcast and actually enjoy it, well, then they will actually just go over. So, this video, by the time this video is up, the channel will be up and running. All the previous podcasts will be posted, but I'll explain that after. But you can explain the actual concept of it.
Okay, fair enough. So, basically, what me and my pal Joshua have decided to do. Basically, because it's both of our podcasts. So it is. So it's like, whenever we have the idea of we want a guest on the podcast, and one time I said to Joshua, I thought I was your guest, and he's like, no, you're the co-host. I'm like, okay, cool, yes, better.
We're both those.
Exactly. So it's both of our podcasts, so we decided what we should do then is to make a separate channel called the Undisputed Podcast, where it's all the podcasts and all the previous podcasts go up on this channel, so we both have access to the channel as well. So it's both of our channel, both of our podcasts. We will be putting in both the same amount of effort into it.
Yeah.
So if you need me to edit stuff, I'll have to take a course first. But
it's not that the podcast is the simplest thing to edit. It just takes ages to render.
Yeah.
And it also it's really annoying for me because I'm trying to sort other videos and I have to put them in hold
like
until the podcast.
4 more channels.
Yeah.
It's fucking insane. So basically, it splits the workload. So it does basically, and that is basically it. And it also it helps me because then I'll have a channel on my YouTube app that has more than 22 subscribers.
And actually post consistently.
So I'll feel like a real YouTuber. So yeah, that's basically it. So we're splitting it. It's both of our channel.
Yep.
It's both of our podcasts. So we're splitting basically the workload. So basically, it's not just me sitting down recording on a Saturday and that's me done. It's and then Josh has to take my videos and edit both of the videos, edit all the thumbnails and do all that shit.
Yeah.
Whereas he could maybe give me a thumbnail to edit or whatnot. I'll have to learn, but I'll do that.
It's not that hard. It just takes time and it's frustrating. But
I know. Plus, I'm alright at thumbnails, wee bit. I'm just not the best, but I'll get to it and I'll do it. So, but yeah. So basically, that's the whole concept, and all the podcasts. All the previous podcasts. What about the voice ones? I haven't talked about that.
No.
Because
that's just the visual ones.
Okay.
So basically, obviously, before the visual podcast, we had the audio one, which it started off originally, I think it was the third episode you came in. Yeah, the first one was the first two was with Slay, and I think it was the third one, you and Brian came in, and it was that ever since. All the old episodes of the audio one, that's just staying where it is. The old episodes of visual one will just remain on the Vlogs channel, like they'll just stay there, but they'll be re-uploaded onto this channel. Yeah. But there will be no more updating that podcast playlist on the Vlogs channel. So they'll just stay there, obviously, but they'll be re-uploaded on that channel. So if you want to go back and watch a podcast that you enjoyed, or you want to, maybe you missed one, watch it on the podcast channel, because that's where it's going to help, you know what I mean? Yeah. And there will obviously be all the old ones. All of them will be uploaded before the next episode of the podcast. And then from then on, it will be every 2 weeks like it is. A new episode of the podcast is uploaded and all of that. So it means that I can separate the Vlogs channel from the podcast well. The reason it was on the Vlogs channel originally was because that's where the podcast obviously started. Because it was originally, it was supposed to be mine and Slay's. Then so the episode just ended up mine. And then you came in and then we were like, right. And then you were consistent on it. So it became mine and yours. But it's because I was the one doing all the editing and all, and we didn't think of a different channel, so we were just like, oh, it started here, we'll just keep it here. Yeah. Where it's gotten to the point where, like, right, well, we both do that, so it's only for, not only do I want a separate channel, because it's just better. It's better to, like, people who aren't interested in the podcast don't have to subscribe to that channel. You know what I mean? And people who are only interested in the podcast can, that don't like the vlogs content. You know what?
Yeah, fair enough.
So you'll get that. So they'll be separated. So it'll be easier like that. And then it also means that we'll take turns editing or making the thumbnails, whatever, which means the workload is separated. Because obviously, like you said, we would sit down, I would get your video, and then I would edit them together, and I'd make the thumbnail, I'd let it render, and I'd do all that. I'd upload it, apply the title, the tags, and all.
Exactly.
But then I'd have to put mine on hold, and then straight after doing that, I'd have to jump into mine. So it just makes it easier.
Yeah, so, because basically all I was doing was texting Josh, or Josh was texting me and being like, right, 1 o'clock, record. And we're like, right, sweet. So all I would do was set up my tripod, set up my camera, talk for an hour, and then upload my video and send it over to him, and that was me done. So, you know, and then he'd do everything else, whereas now I get the experience. Hang on.
Nice.
Tasty. No, but whereas now I get, smell it? Whereas now I get,
don't.
Fair enough. I get the experience now of actually properly trying to edit something. And of course, I'm not going to be as good as him. And I'm not going to be as good as him with the, you know, thumbnails and whatnot. So if you're okay with shitty quality for me,
it took me fucking ages to do thumbnails.
Yeah, well, fair enough. And you're still shit. So no, yeah. I mean, you're no Jake Paul. But
that is a good point. This is a good point. Me should be more like Jake Paul.
Yeah. Dumb. You give me gum.
But yeah, so there's a new channel. Like I said, by the time this is up, the channel will be up and running. It'll have everything. Like I said, it'll be every 2 weeks. The podcast will be up. It'll run the same as it did on the vlogs channel. It'll just be on this new channel. All older ones uploaded. So if you want to watch them, remember to go over to the podcast channel and watch them there, because that's where it helps. Subscribe, all of that. And that means that the vlogs channel will only be my vlogs content, and the podcast will be only the podcast. So it's easier to separate like that. But yeah, that's basically what happens. So that's the end of the Undisputed podcast on this channel.
Yeah.
We talked about it on the previous podcast, but just in case people didn't watch that one, this is the actual announcement. So yeah, you can go over, the link will be down below. You can click that, and it'll take you over our channel, and then would appreciate a subscribe. But yeah. Yeah, Undisputed podcast up and running, bitch.
Yes.
So
basically, Joshua's whole plan for this is, he wants over 1 million subscribers on all of his channels, so he can just have all of the play buttons in his bedroom. So basically, whenever his mum sees his bedroom in the future, he can go to her and he can say, "Look, I'm exactly not what you called me whenever I was born. I am not a disappointment. I have accomplished something. So fuck you." No.
So fuck you, and I'm moving out.
I'm moving out. And I've got nothing to live for except for this. So if this fails, I'm going to get a job in a garage. You know, I'm going to be okay.
Right, well, yeah. So that's the plan for the Undisputed podcast. This video is probably going on too long, so we'll leave it there. But that's the plan. Link down below. You go check it out. We'll appreciate it. But yeah. So that's the announcement. So yes, we'll see you. We'll see you over there.
Podcast friend.
Podcast friend.